Hi there, welcome back to the Ethereum Wyckoff weekly analysis. So let's look at the weekly chart and also the daily chart and see if Ethereum is really already at the buying climax or like coming down from the buying climax. What does it mean for the coming few days or next week in terms of the price levels? So here we are looking at the weekly chart. There's little red candlesticks right now. The volume itself is pretty much like what we had the first week of July, but there's still a little bit more than 2 days left. So at the end, it may go to a similar level as last week or maybe even a bit higher. And if what we have seen last week is a blind buying climax, then what we're seeing now is basically the automatic reaction. So the automatic reaction usually happens after a buying climax. You see it here, you see it here, there's an automatic reaction. Let me enlarge it so it's easier for you to see, and brighter color as well. So oftentimes there are automatic reaction after the buying climax. So that's one of the key stages where you can say it's trying to define a trading range for the coming maybe months, depending on how deep some of the sign of weaknesses will get to. And as of this moment, the automatic reaction has just started. Sometimes it's deeper, sometimes it's less deep. Over here, it took quite a number of weeks, over 2 months, by eyeball check. We can do it more accurate one, from the first red candle to well, this is already like it went way deeper than here, but it found support. There are 2 candles with one, like both the tail of those candles are there. So from the first candle to where it find a stabilized position, that was 56 days, almost 2 months time during March to early May last year. Currently, we're only at the first candle. While sometimes it may take shorter time for an automatic rally to find its point, it looks here. It took only 2 weeks back in 2021, but that was like very early days for crypto. So if we take a closer event in time, that's the thing I mentioned already. So if it really takes about a month or 2, then it would be like at least mid-September, if not early October, for this to get to a point where it's stabilized. So this purple line over here, that's the support line defined by the previous automatic reaction. That's at around 2,900 roughly for Ethereum. It doesn't mean there's no interim or intermediate support levels. There are very frequent activities for candlesticks. You see all these that started or finished at that level. That's at 3,200 roughly. That's the level before the purple line. If the price really tries to come back to set foot somewhere to mark the automatic reaction. So let's put a question mark where it is going to land eventually over the course of next few weeks. If we go to the daily, here you see it's finding support. Some people wonder why I always draw these boxes, because it's giving us good references. So over the past 3 days, I'm not counting today because today there's still 7 hours. So Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, all have their, you see the wick kind of almost touching the top edge of the box, and then these two, the previous 2 day closed just above the yellow box. So this is a relatively stronger support line for now. I explained last week probably how I got to this box. It's basically looking at a lot of these peaks and some of these supports, where are they lying around? So that's how I determined both the top edge and the bottom edges of these boxes, or ranges if you like. So here, if it really stays above this box, not that it hasn't tested for it tested for 3 consecutive days trying to go back into the box already. That's what happened over here. You see, it tested multiple times back in December last year. Sorry, there's a tag over there, the disclaimer. So I'm talking about this place over here that I circled. So back in December 2024, it tested multiple times before it reached the final buying climax high point. Because when it was developing, we would have thought this was the buying climax when we first see the red candle, but then eventually it bounced a few times above the box and then got to the high point, and that's when the automatic reaction happened. So going back to where we are today, it's kind of similar. It's testing the support line, and then if it really happens similar to last time back in December last year, then the upwards or upwards of the distribution hasn't appeared yet, because it can happen in a way like this and test the 4,000 level again. But this is not like 100% scenario, because they might have already happened. We just don't know yet. One more observation is, usually after these peaks, the next, if it's really coming to a drop, you see these candles, they usually come very sharp very quickly. It doesn't bounce for 3-4 days before, it doesn't come like a short candle for a few days before it comes down. It usually comes at one shot, and then the long one comes in, or even a long one comes in straightly after. You look at all these patterns, there are always a long stick almost the second day. Let me enlarge this one. It's very small, so it's not easy to see. What I'm saying is this: one short, one long, one short, one long. It's usually the case, and then both long. It doesn't have many small red candles before it drops. Currently, it seems the candles are getting smaller, so that's hopefully a good sign that it's not going to do a drastic drop. And say, oh, is there any indicator to help whether it's getting to such a drop? That's the thing I usually do. You probably have seen it multiple times already. This is the Keltner squeeze indicator with the Bollinger Band. So basically, if the orange lines are going to, let's see if I hide the drawings. Yeah. So if the orange lines are going to bracket the purple, then there would be a drastic price move coming, or very close to a drastic price move. So drastic price move doesn't mean going up, it can go down. So there was some bracketing over here. That's when we have this price surge, and then likewise, you see it's been bracketing for a while. Remember, like, it doesn't mean it happened immediately, but it will eventually happen. This one took like almost a month for this crazy upsurge. Likewise, over here, there was some form of bracketing happening, and then eventually the price shoots up. Likewise, for going down as well, you see a little bit of bracketing, the orange lines bracketing the purple, and then boom, that's the crazy slide all the way back to the spring stage at 1400 during April. So as of this moment, the orange is well within the purple, so it may be saying like, it's probably going to do some sideways movement maybe, or at least not some drastic upward or downward. Even though it's been traded within the range, it's not likely that it's going to something crazy like this or something like this. Not until we see these four lines get close to each other again. So that's the additional reference I would take. So hopefully this will stay up above this yellow box for a little bit longer. Let me extend this, so by next week when we come back it should have already gone somewhere further down, and hopefully it's not something like this over here. So at least during the buying climax there was a second test. So here from going above the box to it finally re-entry, that's around 19 days, so almost 3 weeks time. We're only 6 days into it, so 1/3 of what happened back in December last year. So let's hope it's going to stay there for longer, or maybe go even higher, because if this yellow tag is correct, there's still a chance for the upthrust after distribution to happen, and that's way higher somewhere that we haven't even seen for Ethereum since 2021. That's the 4,700 or 4,800 level. Would the upthrust after distribution be at that high? Let's put a mark here and see whether it would happen. So pretty long story for Ethereum today. See you in